So the thing is, so the one problem with 40s is they struggle against breaking block, and that's honestly most units. So like Paladins, if you get the honor node upgrades and increase their block by 5%, and you max it out, I think it's like 20 or 25%, you can actually charge Paladins straight through Fortebraccio.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to consider. So like this right here, whatever, kind of no matter. So the plan is, right, if you're pushing, is you're gonna push the shields up so they start taking the blocks, right, and then he's gonna follow up and he's gonna imp march into my 40s and open it up.
Okay, I see.
You get in there, start blocking, and then get your guys in there and start marching. There you go.
Ah, okay.
Block.
I back you guys off so I don't die.
Yeah.
So I don't kill anyone.
Yeah, that's a huge difference with those shields.
Yeah,
so there's another way you can approach with the shields from attack as well. This one I would only suggest if you have like backup shields just in case it doesn't work out well.
But yeah, so just little stuff like that, right? And then one thing that we're not really showing off, but your hero is just as important as your units. So while he's pushing, you guys could be on your horse, jump over that unit that's being pushed, and usually there's a hero. So like Rygol, remember how you're chilling right behind with the grape shot?
Yeah.
I wait for you to shoot. You know, it takes 10 seconds to reload or whatever. I jump over the 40s that are being marched and I go straight for you. Straight for you. And if I don't kill you, I'm gonna kill your grape shot.
Yeah, because you could jump over, queue off, and then do your combo, destroy at least the Arty, and then maybe get me.
And get out. Or maybe I just run on, right? So like for me, I'm that hero, right? 40s are getting marched, jump over, destroy the Arty, fuck with you a little bit, get back on my horse, and then I'm gone.
Oh, they're not doing it. Oh, wait, there we go. Now they're doing it. Nope,
oh,
no.
Wait, let me get back. Okay.
1 second. I'm trying to get them to do it. They used to do it before. I got them to do it before, but well, usually another thing you can do is you can advance them forward, but sometimes they're retarded, so it doesn't work. But the advance is really good for doing this.
Oh yeah, because they're all blocking. It would go through 40s too.
If I can get them to fucking actually advance, that's the yep. Yeah, that's the only downside is it's buggy as fuck. Yeah, especially when you're inside a place like this. They want to be spread out completely.
Yeah. So
let me try one more time.
It's better to do it with stalwarts, where you're trying to show.
I'll show you what I'm doing in a second. Let me try it one more time. I think it's a spot. I think they have to be this close first before it works. Let me do. Because they need to spread out, and they can't spread out at that spot.
Yeah, so like a stalwart advance can 100% work too. Right?
There you go.
There.
And then right there, they set up right in the gate, and then you can go push from either side. That way they're not just covering one. And then when the imps do their push in and knock down the 40s, then you just put them in the shield like this, and then bam, they're good to go. You got both sides covered.
Yes. So there's little nifty tricks that you can do. But again, like I said, your hero is just as important.
But also, real fast as a warning as well. So as you saw, I was struggling with it. In order to do that kind of move itself, you have to be in this spot right here. You have to be here for your units, because if they can't fully spread out, they will not listen to you.
Yeah, unless it's stalwarts. Stalwarts are better at it because they don't need to spread out that much. It's very condensed.
So you would recommend ISGs and stalwarts for purposes of having shields, or you said even palace guards would work as well, as long as they have
the honor node upgrade. But you know, that's a lot of work, right?
I would say palace guards just stay as the shock troop. I think it should be always a shield unit when it comes to.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you got nothing else, right?
Yeah. Budget.
Budget. Yeah, if you got nothing else, you know, your shield dudes in your squad are dead or whatever. You know, shit happened. But yeah, you see how much they're blocking? Have I ever killed any of you guys?
No, they're all full HP.
Yeah,
except for a few that are red.
See how long it's taking me?
Yeah.
And plus they have this ability as well.
And the heal. So like, I can fuck with this a little more super risky. I can move my guys closer, and the 40s will start hitting the guys inside. Like that. So that's another counter if you're a 40 person and you see them in Shiltron or box or whatever. So like, put your guys in box formation. Or Shiltron works too. Yeah. So you see, you're blocking me, right? But
But he's
if I just
stabbing the guys
move a little
behind as well.
closer, I'm starting to stack the guys in the back. See that?
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like, you know, stuff where I say like unit control, knowing the limits, the range, and all that stuff for unit is super important. In my opinion, unit control is what separates you from a average player to a good player.
Mhm.
Knowing stuff like that, nifts and tricks. Because a lot of people, you know, they get their Iron Reapers or their VGs or whatever, and you know, they instantly think they're top dog. It's not true at all. But yeah.
So another question, hypothetical situation. Let's say that you guys have the setup, like when you guys were defending, you said you had a lot of gun setups and, you know, you were destroying them before they could even get in. How would you counter a scenario like that? Would it just be like wall breaches from that and
Well,
trying
so
to...
I didn't bring Shenjis, but Shenjis.
Oh,
So
move,
Shenjis would
move,
knock
I can
them all
show.
down.
But
So
for Shinji's throwing the bombs on your guys as you're pushing, that one I would say it's purely like up to shock troops to resolve. The initial push would come in. Unfortunately, it's a matter of numbers sometimes when it comes to that kind of stuff, because like the first push is gonna get fucked by the Shinjis regardless. But after that, the shock troops would know what the Shinjis are, and they need the.
aggroing your shields.
Oh, yeah. The shock troops, whatever shock troops you got, hopefully with a fast mover, would go to wherever the Shinjis are, and just destroy this, just go kill the Shinjis. There'll be people to stop you, obviously, but you want to do your best to try and kill them. Like if you Azaps, you know, you'd be disrupting the 40s. Like if you brought like Paladins, you would go straight for them. Segis would work going straight for the muskets. Just anything that's good for charging fast, you would go straight for the muskets. Because if they are busy trying to stop you from killing their muskets, then they're not focusing on killing your team. This supply point's glitched.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cap the other one. Fucking dumb. But yeah, so like if you're watching the stream, so like this is a good spot for for range, right? You want to put range units on both sides. In this particular map, it's not a bad idea to stack them all right here, right? Because the supply is right there, you can easily rotate in and out. But that just makes it so they can put mortars on the other side of the wall and just bomb out your guys. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Arty's a good counter to that musket thing as well. I forgot about that. Yeah. So having a good mortar placement, or if the gates are that good, you need to take the wall. Like if they have a setup and they actually have the proper setup, they have the 40s on both sides, they have shields to back it up, they got muskets to back up, Shinji's ready to back up whatever push you got. If the initial push doesn't work and they're actually coordinated, then the best bet is to take the wall, and you need to start harassing them from the wall.
Yeah,
because the gate's not doable.
Start bombing the shit out of them.
There's the brute force tactic where it's all about attrition, where you just have more numbers than them, you have more reserves than they do, and you just keep charging in until they run out. But that I wouldn't recommend that with what we got. So if they have something like that set up, you take the wall.
Yeah. So like just on that note, we defended this map with 30 people against 70. Right?
Oh, wow.
They had way more numbers than us. But we're melting the shit out of them. Right? I mean, they eventually pushed us off X. It happens. And we're defending home. Every fight we're always defending home. So don't think that, oh, this is impenetrable or whatever. No, you'll get attritioned out.
Yep.
People won't have the replacements or whatever. And, you know, this shit happen.
The standard setup we had for most people back then was a Ford. Everyone would bring 40s, type of shield unit, and then the third unit is dealer's choice. If everybody has that, then like the attrition isn't as much of a threat as as it would be for everyone else. The only downside to that is like that's what everyone's gonna have, you know, so like there's not gonna be much variety, so the enemy knows what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
But you're also gonna have people that are gonna have problems getting the units, or they just don't want to bring the units because you know shields are boring, which I understand. You know, shields are really boring to play.
People have a hate boner for range for reasons that escape me.
Yeah.
And then Oh, they say it promotes passive gameplay, which I
Oh,
think
there
is
we go.
absurd. But anyway, but yeah, you know, or people are just gonna bring double cav or whatever, and I'm not really trying to shit on them, but they're not gonna help much here. They
Yeah.
can set their cav up here and wait for them to really push in hard and then cross charge, right? So that's really useful. But what you mainly want cav to do in terms of defensive posture is you have to absolutely guard those supply points.
Yep.
Absolutely imperative. Cav players are going to do that easily. They got bring cash eggs or something that kills heroes really easily with cav. Sun's your Fenrir if you don't have cav. You guard
So,
those supply points. But
Another thing is about muskets as well. Shenjis, they have a pretty good range with their bombs. So like from this far away, it takes like obviously, you know, the further away the longer it takes for the bomb to reach, you know. So like if I check from this far, we got quite a big delay before they actually land. So the push is in full effect. It's not gonna help. It's gonna help too late if you're trying to time it. So like if you're going from far range, tossing other bombs with Shenjis, you wanna be good at timing how long it takes the bombs to land and stuff like that.
yeah.
But what I've seen people do, and I've done a couple of times myself, is I'm waiting for the timer to go up. Is the charge starts to happen, they'll run their Shenjis in point blank like this. Always be behind units, obviously. Then they'll bam from right in front, instant hit, and then bam. They always do a rapid fire like Imperial Muskets used to do with their line formation ability. The rapid fire, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The Shenjis do a very similar thing, but it lasts way shorter. I think it's like 4 seconds of them just fucking
yeah,
blasting.
Like that, but God, it does so much damage.
Oh, for 10 seconds after using the order. No, 10 seconds. Jesus,
Yeah.
forgot how long it was. Yeah. So they'll just melt everything. Like
Yeah.
the Shenjis are not to be fucked with. Once you move your assets away loaded real fast, I'm gonna move my guys inside. Shinji's also pretty good for offense as well. You got the imps to go in, and you got the shields to push in. Then you can have the Shinjis come in from behind.
Yeah,
This is just
like
for
literally
Shinjis.
right behind him, right?
Yeah. So like once the shield units form up right here, and they get that initial hold inside, and they're set up right here, you would bring the Shinjis in, and like right inside those motherfuckers, and then whatever unit they're having problems with, you bomb them. Then depending on if they're losing the fight after the bomb, they'll gun, or they'll just fucking leave after throwing the bomb instantly and just pop
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Silly stuff like that. I do want to show something off very quick. Just so bring try to get to my muskets with your pike. Let's bring them over here. Oh, well, try not to stand there.
Oh, he's got the charge.
Oh, you're gonna get to them.
Yeah. So yeah, the charge is really good on
Yeah,
for the events.
Yeah. Well,
He fucking loaded, just got fucking wrecked.
hey man, hey, you know that's you had the counter. I was gonna mention it.
Pop
And he had-
quiz.
Yeah. No, you had to counter, and you mentioned, and yeah. So the charge is great for imps. They close the distance really fast. But what I wanted to show there, cause fuck, ended too fast. How many? Did you check how many imps I killed before you got to my guys?
Hold on.
You only killed like a few, dude. Like maybe.
Yeah, it was
like,
a
four at
like,
most.
very small handful. You didn't even clear out barely half.
I know,
So,
but
the
I was
thing that-
really a second of volley fire, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
second
the
volley
thing that
fire,
makes
did a
them-
lot.
The things that makes imps and stuff like that so disgusting is mainly because they could deal so much fucking damage without being actively in the fight. So like it's like you have people just taking dots, you know, like we play, you know, raiding games like wow, oh my god. It's just constant dots on your units until they're gotten rid of. It's a big hindrance to deal with if they're left unchecked. So heroes would typically go for them. Like I said before, if you guys were to see it on offense side, you want people with shock to take out those muskets as soon as possible. Because the second those muskets are dead, that's less damage you guys are taking from a long sustained fight.
yeah.
Because if those muskets are left alone, realistically the attackers have to end that fight against whoever they're fighting in the X point as
Yeah.
fast as humanly possible, or they're
Yeah,
done.
They're just getting gunned down. Yeah.
But if you're rocking Poleaxe, I would recommend so the charge stab bolt is really good. For locking down when they start their charge and hit kind of thing. The fucking short sword, there we go. When they do their thunderstruck, the rough justice is pretty good for interrupting that. But the main ult I always take myself, and I recommend other people to take from the Poleaxe is the triple stab.
Oh, the Walker.
Yeah. Mainly it does a lot of damage, but it has another effect which makes it way better. Is it knocks people off horses and mounts. So if somebody's trying to do that stupid ass mount shit where they charge their mount in and then fucking do that stupid goofy shit, you knock them off and they instantly are stunned, and then the second 2 hits keep them stunned.
But anyways, yeah. So come and march, my guys. There, march. Are Fusiliers struggling? What's going on over there?
No.
Like they're shooting slow. Just me? What's going on here?
Go
feel like
rank,
if
they
Yeah.
we
said.
do no
It'll be fun, they
damage-
said.
Yeah.
Go
So usually it's more muskets packed up in there, but what
Yeah.
the point of the thing is before, if you would have did the imp march and just did the passive attack there, these guys would all be dead, and you guys would have taken barely any damage. But with the muskets as support coming in from the back, killed 20 of them, and max killed 8.
Yeah.
It's a lot more dangerous to imp march in, and that's just with one set of muskets.
Yeah. If you have
So
like
usually what
4,
you would have is you would have the Jaws of Death, followed up by one set of muskets on both sides, and a shield unit on both sides, and then it just becomes almost impossible to push in. With Shenjis as well, usually we have 1 Shenji or 2 Shenjis if you're lucky, but not everyone goes for Shenjis is why I say if you're lucky. But yeah, having a Shenji in there, then 1 Shenji bomb tosses, get unloaded on, the push gets disrupted, and then the second person bombs their bomb afterwards, and then the push is just done. There's nothing more you can do.
So they're like Sharanar's not here, but he did ask a question a while ago about like Arty placement and stuff like that. And this is like perfect. So if you put cannons right here, you have full views of both towers. And this is so in the back, right? Not a lot of people are gonna go after you back here. Same thing on the other side of the wall over there. But yeah.
It's also
That's
important to,
fine.
so like
Yeah,
to
I
counter
already had
this,
Some of that.
to counter the same thing.
Two.
Arty's pretty
There's,
good as well. Does the job
Activate
as well.
nearby.
So like this right here, for example, good old mortar, and then like you have that setup down there. And if I can get the shots right, because I suck at angling sometimes. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I know where I'm going. Yeah, so then you got the Jaws of Death all set up. You know, you got it all nice down there. But if you take wall control, bam, fuck your Jaws. And you just keep spamming it until the Jaws are dead without doing anything. That's why it's important not to lose wall. If they get that tower up, then it's going to be a really tough time. That's why it's always important to make sure the tower stays up. Well, not tower, but the wall stays up, stays in your control. Because there's a lot they can do, especially the bigger houses. They will always bring purple mortars. This is just a blue, but with this stuff, you can hit some pretty good spots. Like there, boom, that's where the muskets were sitting. And you can then go to cover this entire area, like right here. Like, oh, they moved right down here. Nope, bam. And then you can get the entire other side. I'm pretty sure purple can reach it. I have a blue right now. Like here. No, purple can reach it though. I don't have a purple. But yeah. So yeah, that would be the counter to that exact same defense. Is blue mortars, purple mortars, or blue. Either work. Just bombard the shit out of it, and there's nothing they can do. It will force a retreat, or force them to come up to here and deal with you. If the counter that ourselves, I would say the same thing. Having a people with their third unit, dealer's choice. People usually bring a shock troop of some kind as a third choice. You would send a group of them just to come up here and start harassing the guys up here on the mortars. If you're out of units, so say for example, you know, like, oh well, I died. I mean, all my units are dead. I got nothing. So then you would just you'd go for it. Your whole objective is to make sure that mortar dies before you die.
Yeah.
That take that mortar down. Of course, they're gonna put up another one, but it helps your team a bit more than having that same mortar still up.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so in this particular map, if you have Falcos or if you're an archer player, if you have archer units, putting your archers up here, you actually have full reign on
Yep.
outside gate. So like when before they nerfed Imperial archers, I would have Vodka Arrow on, and I would just be raining down on their cab over there. And what are they gonna do?
Right.
I'm out of their view, and I'm just raining down on them.
Unless they
So
have trebs up, there's not much I can do about it. And same, you know, defense side, exact same spot with mortars as well.
Yep.
Bam.
yeah, so it's just every kind of unit has a purpose in these strats, and this is why I personally stress unit compositions. It's super important. If everyone brings pikes, cool story, you're gonna get countered. you know?
Right.
But if you have, you know, it depends who you're dealing with. Like for me, I think the ideal squad for most situations, not all situations, is a pike, a shield, one pike unit, 2 shield / shock units, and an auxiliary. And an auxiliary could be a range unit or a cap, right? You can, that's more general. But if you're fighting in a village fight, you know, don't bring pike and then auxiliary. You know, it depends. But
Right.
like it's just whatever you're going into, and it's super important that everyone in your squad can generally deal with situations properly.
They gotta understand what's going on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not the same play won't work on every single area. Like the same, like
Yeah.
villages are played a lot differently than towns, which kind of sucks that field battle's such a dead queue, because that's really important to learn how to play villages effectively.
Yeah, and I mean, and it sucks too because I think the field battle plays like TW a lot more than Siege.
Yep. Yeah, because points are constantly changing. It tells you to keep, you know, teaches you to keep your eyes on every single thing in the map. Resupply points can be taken by anyone, so it shows how important resupply points are.
Yeah.
Um,
not just guarding A or B or whatever,
Yeah.
right? No, you gotta guard everything. Everything. You have to control the walls. You have to protect X. You have to protect the supplies, and you know, bam. In field battles, that forces you to play that way because you have to defend 3 points, at least 2.
you guys have already experienced it, but yeah, losing either or both resupply points is the equivalent of losing X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's very, very, very hard to recover.
Yeah.
You know, playing the game for a long time, once I saw that happen to you guys, I was just like, they lost.
Right.
It's very, very, very hard to recover. You have to wipe those heroes in a matter of seconds and kill their units if they manage to spawn anything. And that could be a huge chore to actually achieve. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff is experience, learning tricks. You
And
know,
just
the-
to
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't. And
No, no,
just
go
to reiterate, so you recommend for like one group to at least have like some Fenrirs or at least Cavalry to help kind of protect the supply point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
So like when like our guy, when we were a house, was a guy named Czech. He was our cap player. Everyone else was heavy infantry, and you know that's guns, pikes, and whatnot. But
His whole job was to cover every single resupply point by himself. Like
Yeah.
usually you would have 2 people do it, but Check, like, you know, we make
Yeah.
Check do 2 people's jobs for the price of 1. We
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
He's good at it, though.
benefit.
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Like,
He's good at it. That's why we entrust him to cover 4 different resupply points by himself. Other than that, I would say like having 2 people do it. One person on one side of the map, the other person on the other side, having
I mean,
Cav
like-
or Fenrir.
Yeah, so like imagine if I have Cav, right? And someone's over here, right? Ah
Mhm.
shit, someone's taking. It's like fuck, I need to get over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll be there in like 15 seconds.
Alright.
Right. And it versus if someone on gate with Fortebraccio, 40 seconds later.
Right.
You know? So and this is why I ended. But
Yep.
super important to watch the map, the mini map. Always
Yep.
important.
If you have one person that's covering the back end, which we don't recommend it unless they have really good map awareness, you need to actively tell them when people make it through. But when it comes to the people who are on wall duty, usually they can stop most of the guys that try and slip through. If you have people covering the resupply points, like one person on each side with really good cav, like cash eggs or wolves or something that can just insta-give heroes, you should not chase people down the wall if you're on wall duty. It's like, okay, so they just went down the stairs or they jumped up the stairs with their horse. They're out of, they're not my problem anymore. Call them out, call them out instantly. Tell them where they're at, and then go back to your wall.
Yeah.
Because if you go down there and you chase that person,
you leave it open.
Yeah, exactly. You just left a gap, and now there's 4 people climbing ladders. And where are you? Chasing that one guy. So, like I said, a lot of stuff is experience. A lot of things are, you know, just making sure everyone is, all the gears are moving properly, or however you want to put it, and just being aware. I mean, so like the 2 things I say really, so like one is unit control, but the next thing is being aware. And I mean, it happens to us veterans too. We tunnel vision. We really want to kill this fucking guy, you know? Like, oh fuck, I got flanked. You know, shit happens. But, you know, just be more aware. It's simple to just tab very quick, see what's going on, and then be back in it. Right? Or just look at the minimap. Or you can go into the settings and go to UI and go to HUD scaling and, you know, increase the size a little bit.